Let's take it over to him.
Hello. Oh, okay. Yep, can't get rid of me that easily. Back again. Yeah, so this is completely different from Harry Potter, obviously. And we'll just get started, I think, and I'll talk about it as it goes on. So can I get a countdown from anyone? Or are we ready? Yeah, we ready? Okay. Oh.
3, 2, 1, go!
Woo! Just cheer myself. It's fine. Yeah, so this is Animaniacs, The Great Edgar Hunt, the game that nobody has played. I don't think there's anyone I've ever talked to who's actually played this game. And when I played it when I was younger, it was ridiculously hard. I got like 5 Edgars and then stopped playing. But there's 45 Edgars in the game, and you have to get 36 to get to the final boss. So we're just going to collect the quickest ones possible. And each world has a certain number in. I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it's 8. Yeah, no, it's 8. They have 5 normal Edgars from just doing challenges. And then you have 2 Edgars from collecting, like, the equivalent of, like, collecting 100 of something in a level. And then you have another one which I'll talk about later. So it's a surprise. So we're heading into the first level, and each level is based on a different theme. So what we need to do now is catch the 5 criminals who are running around the village. And we're also going to collect these gold, because if I get 125, I get another Edgar as well. And it's just a quicker way of getting it as I'm doing stuff. So now we have to catch this thief by just spinning into him. And so there's 5 of them around. See, a lot of the early game is quite sort of glitch-free, but then later on we'll see what happens. There is a different route for this game that saves about half a minute to a minute, but it is ridiculously stupidly hard and can soft lock on pretty much every single level. So I thought Marathon probably should go for this one instead. Which is just sort of straightforward, like go through the levels in the intended order. So that's the criminal, so I'm going to go and get my first Edgar. And if I position myself just right, yeah, so the Edgar spawns in a certain spot, and if you stand on top of it when it spawns, it just skips like the little cutscene showing you where the Edgar is. I'm also going to save just because this game is very temperamental if it wants to keep running or not. So now we're going to head off here and get our next Edgar. And so the main thing of this game is that there's lots of different like mini games that they give you for certain reasons. And so this one, Pinky and the Brain need some horseshoes, so we're going to get some by using a giant magnet across the town, if it makes sense. So you can technically do this in 3 cycles of the horses, but normally you just do it in 4 because it's just a lot easier. And also it's completely RNG dependent. So just drop those in there. Yeah, so when you use the magnet it slows down the horse. So you just, quite easy to just get the horseshoes and just drop them in there. There we go. And technically you can stand on top of this Edgar when it spawns too, but it's like a couple of pixels, so it's just not worth it to go for it. Ooh, take a bow. So now we're gonna go and carry on with this level. So let's go through here, grab this thing, there we go. The like collectibles route, so the 125 bits of gold I'm getting is quite strict. So hopefully I don't miss too many, because otherwise I'll have to do some additional moving around, which obviously wastes time. Cool. Don't like tornadoes. So the way this game's routed, the way this game works, is that each level has to have a certain number of Edgars to get into. So it's open world, but it's sort of like restricted open world. So you need 4 Edgars to get into the second world if you want to get in properly, like in a normal playthrough. You can get it through without any, but it's not faster for this route. So we're going to go and collect our 4 Edgars. We're going to go and save one of the Animaniacs who I forget the name of. Anyone watch Animaniacs? What's the girl called? That's it, Doc. Yeah, so we're going to go rescue Doc. You know. Who for some reason is on this train. And the train parts themselves are the same every single time. But the doors that they jump out of and the pillars that come across the top of you are completely random. So you just sort of jump and hope for the best. There we go. Let's just keep going. Yeah, there's just lots of slow stuff at the beginning of the game. But hopefully we'll get into more exciting stuff later. Well, not hopefully, we should do. Unless it's like a huge mistake or something. Like the game keeps falling off. So to hit these guys, you have to be standing completely still. Like if there's any sideways momentum at all, you can't hit them. You have to like just stop right in front of them. Yeah, so I didn't actually watch Animaniacs growing up, but I played the game. So I sort of know the characters, but I don't really know what any of them do. So I'm just sort of like, in the game there were certain abilities that you unlock throughout the game. So, Yakko, I think is this one. Is it Yakko? I think it's yeah. I don't know. One of them. The one I'm using at the moment is the best one for most of the game, just because he's slightly taller, he has a better jump. So it means that some of the skips later on are a bit easier. And now we're going to just go through and collect some collectibles just to get the last Edgar. So this is the main reason that the other routes are quicker, because you don't have to do this whole walking through the entire level to get collectibles. Just going to go in. And also, luckily, there's lots of health just lying around everywhere, so I don't really have to worry much about it. So what we're going to do here is we'll just do a little skip. So if you ground pound on something, you have like quite a wide window where you can jump again afterwards. But you have to not be holding any inputs when you jump, otherwise you just fall off. So that's sort of a small version of that one. There's better uses for it later on in the game. We'll just keep going through it. Just collect all these things. If there's any donations, it would be a great time to read them. If not, I'll carry on talking.
We actually do have a donation.
Oh, cool.
So we have a €2.50 donation from RDV versus the World. And he says, "Oh, hello there." Hello there to you.
So, checkpoints in this game just allow you to change your characters around. So they get used a few times throughout the run. And here I need to have a couple more of these because there's a certain number I need before I leave here. There we go, that should be perfect. So I need 95 before I go into the final area. So I'm just going to grab the 8 here, and then I'll have 95. If I can get out of there. Gonna open these. You see there's like health absolutely everywhere. So we haven't seen anything too crazy so far. It'll get a bit crazier in the next world. Hopefully, if it all goes to plan. And then there's like just a little skip here to stop, so you don't have to go in the water. Just saves a tiny bit of time because you can't swim yet. Oh, okay. Guess I wanted to go down there. There we go. Just grab all of these. We'll come back here later, so you get to see a lot more of this level a bit later on. And then... Oh. And then we know it spawns here, so we can just... I don't know what I'm doing anymore. We'll just grab it from there. You can just land on top of it, so you get it straight away, but... Guess we're not today. There we go, and that unlocks the next world. So now we can leave this world. So now it's just like one thing we have to do in the hub world, and then we can go to the next world. So also, another thing about this game's routing is that there is something I'm going to show in a sec, if I can get up there. Will let me through. There we go. Sometimes this game just doesn't load maps for like 5 minutes. Well, not, it's like 10 seconds. It's just really weird. But no, yeah, so there's Pinky and the Brain appear here. But they only appear here if you have exactly 4 Edgars. So if you go into another level and get 5 or 6, they just disappear and you can't get them, so you can't complete the game. Because the way the game's designed, you can only get 4 Edgars at the beginning. So it sort of tries to make you get all the ones you can get straight away. And it means that if you try and do different... No, please run properly. Please run properly. No, other side. There we go.
That's awfully finicky.
Normally they're fine like that. They can be really far away normally, but sometimes they just decide they don't want to land. And then also for these, if you're going upwards and you pull them up, you save a bit of time because you keep your momentum. But sometimes it just doesn't pick it up. This game's full of like, sometimes it just doesn't do what it's meant to do. It's great. Great speed game. So yeah, so we're just going to build this tower. And that just gives us access to all the other worlds. So now we get to watch a cutscene of them showing us the tower. Most of the cutscenes in this game are skippable, but there's a few that you can't skip. So there's this one, there's a few later on as well. Which is a shame, because there's some great voice acting in this game. By great, I mean like, just abysmal voice acting. So, there's also 300 collectibles in the hub world as well, so as I go between the worlds, I'll just collect some of them. And now we're coming up to the second world. And this one's a lot more interesting than the first one. Just collect some hubs. I think they're meant to be film canisters, actually. This is meant to be a film lot. There we go. So this world has one of my least favourite Edgars and also some of my favourite tricks, so it's like a mixed bag. And you'll see why in a sec. There's like a first Edgar and then there's some more there's another Edgar after that which is just stupid. And I hate it. So these ghosts here, if you get too close to them, they scare you and you run away. You can't move for like 5 seconds. So you don't want to get too close to them, and now we're going to just sort of kill them, because we can. So if you stand here, you can hit all 10 of them. And we just need to get rid of all of them. And then hopefully this one, there we go. They're a bit finicky, because if you're from really far away, you have to sort of hit slightly below them sometimes to get them. Just have to, and then you have to wait for the thing to go back up. Yeah, just do all 10 of these. That's the noise I meant to make, but if they're too far away, they obviously just don't make it there. Nope, no, okay. Luckily the controller vibrates when it's attacking the enemy, so I can tell when it's really far away if it's actually hitting it or not. And then one more. There we go. And that should be all of them. Perfect. And now we're going to go and get our Edgar from the butler. Doo-doo. You get that after every single Edgar, and it gets really annoying after a while. Yeah, it's great. I'm going here now, and this is where my least favourite Edgar is. So there is a puzzle cube in the next room, and there's 4 separate puzzles. 3 of them are fine, one of them is completely random, this one. The sliding puzzle is completely different every single time, and sometimes it just screws you over. If I can remember what it is. That's not right. I think that's right. Hopefully, no, that's not right at all, is it? It's just really stupid. Okay, I've screwed myself over here. It's nearly there.
So close, so close. You can do it, man.
That's not the way I want There we go. Perfect. Close enough. Yeah, so sometimes it just follows a really, really easy route, and sometimes it just sort of does things 8 times in a row, so you can't really follow. And you just have like a normal matching puzzle. And they're always in the same place, so it's just kind of memorizing where you're going. Hopefully I don't forget any of these. No, there? No. Okay. That went well. There we go. Then you have a... Oh. Then you just have a block puzzle. And then the final puzzle has a little skip, which just saves like 5 seconds, if that. So let's do this quickly. And then for this puzzle, I'm just going to quit out of the cube. It stops me halfway across, I just skip there. It's really stupid. It's like, it just registers how much of the cursor's on it, so you can just jump across the gap. Yeah, so that's my least favourite Edgar in the entire game. Purely because of that one sliding puzzle. So we haven't really seen anything too crazy yet. There is some stuff coming up, I promise. It does get more interesting in terms of skips and stuff. So now we just have to step on all these boxes. And then we just open the secret entrance. And now we're going to go into a boss fight to save the other one that I can't remember. Wacko, I think. Oops. So we're just going to jump across here. If you fall in here, you just get teleported back to the beginning, so it's not too bad.
Just what the doctor ordered.
Here we go, and this is the really hard boss fight. So what you do is you stand here, you duck, you wait, you do that. There we go. Now you get to do that a couple more times. Really hard. It gets a bit harder. Wait. So you do that twice. And then you have to duck again. But this time you have to jump as well. It's really hard. And then they add another duck in afterwards, but it's just... I don't know who thought this would be a decent boss fight. But, if you attack her too early, you get... She like thunder shocks you, so she has like a force field that she produces. So it wastes tons of time. Yeah, so this time you have to duck again.
I'm not sure if I can handle this difficulty curve.
Really hard, just like... It's one of the things I practice the most, it's just very hard. There we go. And we saved, yeah, so we saved Wacko, so we have all 3 of the Animaniacs now. So now we can actually do some interesting stuff. But we'll get this Edgar first. Save as well. So what we'll do here, we can just sort of slide into this. And we'll get teleported back. So now we're going to go and get some workers at the back of the house. So you need to go and do some walking. Get caught on a roof apparently. Get hit by steam, avoid the tentacles, get hit by tentacles. And then here what we can do is if we go in the lift and jump out again. Just wait there. There we go. So the lift just sort of like teleports you to a different area. But if you jump out of it you can just sort of skip having to wait in the lift. And now we're going to swap characters. So now we get to see some of the other ones. So this is Wacko. So none of them really have any massive differences yet. They'll get some items that only specific characters can use later on. And I'm going to keep going here. These things can hit you really high up like that. These things can also hit you really high up. And we'll just grab these. And now we're going to go and do some Indiana Jones thing. Oh no, it's a giant ball. How will we ever escape? Oh, it's nearly caught up. It's the slowest ball ever. Like, unless you stand there, it just cannot catch you. if you fall in the gunk, you just respawn at the beginning again, so it's not too bad. And here we have the first actual, like, proper thing. So there's an M in there, and the M's the trigger to get into the next area. Wait, just gotta concentrate for a sec. No. So what you're meant to do is there's a puzzle with some clocks. You're meant to get the time on the clock to equal the time in the center of the room, and then it releases an enemy, and then you have to do it again and again and again. But what you can do is if you... There we go. So you can get it from out of bounds, and then that just opens the door. And then you just jump on... Oh, no. Then you fall in and it just respawns you back. There we go. So it just skips doing like a really long puzzle. Saves about 2 minutes if done optimally. So now we're going to go and turn on the fountain. And then we have another Pinky in the Brain minigame. There's one in every level. So we're going to come up here. Sorry, turn off the fountain. I know what I meant. So before we get that, we'll go and do the Pinky in the Brain minigame. And so this one's a bit harder than the other ones. Just spacebar down there. So basically it's just like a giant maze, and you just have to steer your way through. And these pumpkins explode for some reason. So you just have to try and be out of the way of them when they explode. Luckily, from when you start, all the fire's on cycle, so as long as I don't die, hopefully I'll be able to predict where they're going to be. This next one's a pain though. Yeah. Okay, they're on the wrong cycle. So there's also dead ends as well, which sort of tries to trick you. Obviously, speedrun, so I know the route. Okay, yeah, there we go. And then these you just sort of knock them on top of themselves. Pretty straightforward, it's not really much explaining to do in this level, it's just lots of trying to avoid dying. You can die 3 times and then after that it just sort of kicks you out of the level and goes, no, nice try, better luck next time. We're only 2 screens away from the end though, so we shouldn't die. I say shouldn't, because it can still definitely happen. There we go. So that gives us one of our items. And so that gives us the shovel, which only, for some reason, only Wacko can use. Not really sure why. It's a specific item to a character. Might be to do with the TV series, but just means that I can now dig stuff, which is helpful for a couple of things. And now we're going to do another skip. So normally, when you're playing this game, you'd have to go all the way back through the house again to get back here for the second visit. But what you can do is if you jump at this wall in the right way. There we go. So you just sort of go through the wall. This game's really well made. And then you just sort of, if I can get a jump, just go around here. You need to go underneath the floor. Oh, if it will let me. Let me underneath. There we go. And just jump up. There we go. And that just skips having to go all the way back through the level again. It's a really easy skip. You literally just walk straight into the wall. And now Mr. Ghost wants some bones for his ghost dog. So we're going to go and grab some bones for him. Which are just in the front courtyard. So every level has 3 teleporting doors. There's one right at the beginning of the level, which you don't have to activate. And then there's 2 in different spots around the level. So in this level, there's 1 in the boss room, and then 1 right at the end. So there's like none in the middle of the level anywhere. Just gonna grab some more of these from a bit short. Just need to get 5 bones, and then we can go back and give them back.
I can see it, baby.
Another one here, and there should be another one right next to the door. Unless I've forgotten one of them, which I hope I haven't. Should be one right over here.
I can see it, baby.
So the shovel's really weird in how it works. Like, you can be really off the centre and still get it, or sometimes you can be right in the middle and it just doesn't dig for no reason. So you just have to keep... Oh, no, okay. Try that again. Apparently the hardest thing is moving the cursor. There we go. So now we're going to go and give him back his bones, grab a pumpkin. There's another Edgar. Grab that Edgar. And we're nearly done with this level. And that was just the next level opening. So now I can go into the next level. And we will come back here later for about 30 seconds. Because we need to get another Edgar in here, which is really quick to get, but we can't get it now, because we don't have the right items. And so now we're going to go to the next world, which is Once Upon a Time. And it's based entirely on fairy tales. So it's have characters like Miss Muffet and Bo Peep and a random witch who isn't in a fairy tale. And the 3 goats. It's a random collection of characters. That's cool. Technically, you can get into this next level without any Edgars at all, which you skip into it in the other route, but it's really, really finicky. And it's just not, for the 30-second time save, it's just not worth going for the other route. Because it can lose like several minutes in places. So now we're just going to, normally you have to get that bridge down, but you don't have to, you can just sort of jump across and then fall into the water. That was part of the plan. And then here we get another item, and this is for Dot, and it's her hula skirt. So obviously the girl needs the hula skirt. And then we'll finally, when we enter this level, we'll finally get the ability to swim from a talking fish. So now we can swim. So now we can actually dive into water, which means we can actually do this level. And also swimming will be a lot more helpful later on in the game as well as this level actually. So we're going to go and collect some of these crowns. So the route for collectibles in this level is really, really, really lenient. Like they're just all over the place in this level. So I don't have to worry about it. Now I have to help Bo Peep with her electric sheep. Because Bo Peep can't touch them. So I'm going to shear them for her. So I only need 5. There's like 10 in this area. I only need 5 of them. Oh, no, please go the other way. There we go. And if you touch them, they'd stop moving, and then they don't react to you anymore. So you just have to sort of wait for them to go in. So we'll get this one. Hopefully this one cooperates, because this one's the worst one. Let's try and get it to go into that thing. There we go. It's just sort of not really much happening here. Pretty self-explanatory.
How did she even end up having electric sheep?
I'm not sure. It doesn't say. She literally just goes, "Ow, my sheep are electric, help me."
I mean, I can understand static, but still.
Yeah, it makes no sense at all. There's no point looking into it. It's Animaniacs.
Fair enough.
It makes no sense whatsoever. Just gonna make sure I collect some of these crowns. Also, what I've been doing is every time I jump, when I get to the end of the jump, I spin as well most of the time. And that's just because if you do a jump, you have like a little bit of freeze at the end of your jump. And if you spin, it just stops it from stopping moving as much. It still does like a little stop. And then we have to wait for Bo Peep to decide her sheep are there. And then she's like, "Thank you for shaving my sheep." She says it in a really weird voice. She's like, "Oh, thank you so much for shaving my sheep." It's like, okay, Peep, calm down. It's really strange. Like I said, voice acting in this game is just top notch. So now we're gonna go do another skip, because this game is just great and really well made. We'll just open this door for safety.
It's hard to believe that
If I fall out of bounds, I can just come back into the level and just come back here. So what we're going to do now is just go out of bounds. It's really difficult, you just have to do this. And now we're out of bounds. So just going to jump over here. And then jump. Oh, no, we're not going to jump. Sometimes the game just drops jump inputs for no reason. Yeah, okay, it's fine. No. Okay, yeah, so sometimes the game, when you're going up a hill, the game just doesn't jump. That's fine, I can just go back into the level. Now what I'm doing there is, if you jump over the top of that and then like, jump into the area, it skips having to need the night vision goggles, which you get in a later level. So it just skips the backtracking, and it's also a quicker Edgar to get. So we'll try that again. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. And this is the only spot in the game, because the doors are really close. You can activate both doors at the same time. But it doesn't do anything fun, it just sort of opens one and then opens the other. So it's not really very helpful. So just go out of bounds again. Hopefully it works this time. There we go. And then take some damage. So what we're going to want to do here is we need to go through here and find little Miss Muffet, who's crying in the end of the dark woods. Because obviously her tuffet is just in this weird alcove thing for no reason. So we're going to go and save her now. But unfortunately we now can't see. And like I've tried doing it without being able to see, but it's just pretty impossible. Because Miss Muffet stops every time there's a spider. You have to kill all the spiders. And you can't see any of them when it's dark. So I'm going to kill myself and then go back in. And also she's going to cry the entire way through. Yeah, it gets okay after a while. But she just spends the entire time going... It's just like... It's great. Oh, no, that was too high. No. Okay, apparently this isn't as easy as I thought it was. There we go. But no, most walls in this game you can just climb up. And then here we're just going to glide in. Just saves us losing some health. Now, oh, oops. And then we'll go and grab Miss Muffet. Also, you can't spin too much because you get dizzy after a while. There she's there. Come on, Miss Muffet. Have to be really careful here, because if I get hit too many times I die, so I have to come back in again and do that skip again. Or I can just ground pound Miss Muffet, you know. Just walking through here, if there's any like donations or anything that come through.
As a matter of fact, we do have a €2 donation from Laura Kurai. And they say, let's get some more of these fantastic Edgar get animations. Thank you very much for your...
Oh, there we go. Take the apple.
You know the world's largest apple peel was 172 feet and 4 inches long.
Yeah, this game is really fun, but it's just... There's some things that just sort of are completely ridiculous. Please follow. Please follow. Ah! No, I died. Okay, that's fine. Luckily, Miss Muffet stays where she is, so I can just sort of go back to that point. There's also a massive fly. Or a mosquito or something. I don't know what it is. I can't see. Lovely. Thanks for that. There we go. Oh, no, okay. Not really sure what's happening here. There we go, so we just cut back in here now. And luckily, hopefully she should be in the same place. There we go. There we go, so that took far longer than it should have done. But it's fine, I got there in the end. Yeah, so if you stand here, you get like the countdown. And normally when you go in, that sort of stops you from going in, because it just teleports you back to the beginning. That's what you're skipping. There we go, another Edgar animation. And that opens up the next level. And now we're going to go and help the Billy Goat Scruff.
Who's that trapping over my bridge?
And so this one's literally just press B at the right time. The first two are fairly easy. The last one's a bit hard in terms of timing. But luckily you only have to redo the ones you haven't got over yet, so... Yeah.
Man, one more chance. I'll get the big guy.
I'm not sure who they paid to do the voice acting in this game, but they didn't pay them enough. There we go. Yeah, so it's really tight in terms of when you have to press the B button.
Who's that trapping over my bridge?
There we go. And that just gives us another Edgar. There we go, so we're nearly at the number we need for the next part of this level. So there's a door in this level that needs 14 Edgars to open, so I'm just going to go and grab some more collectibles. Okay, so we'll go into this boot. And then we'll go and talk to the witch. And you can just skip platforms here, it's not too hard. I say that I'm going to fall down in a sec. There we go. Yeah, so like I said, there's literally just crowns everywhere in this level. So getting 125 isn't hard. Now we're going to go talk to the witch. And she's going to have a really beautiful witch. And she just wants us to get some wood for her fire. So we have to go and get some wood by chopping these logs. And hopefully I get hit here. Yeah, so that knocks you onto there, just saves her like half a second. It happens most of the time, but sometimes they just don't want to. And then just gonna jump across these. And we're across. I fall down there too many times to mention. I like to say I'm good at this game, but there's only 2 people running it, so I'm the better one at this game. I say it that way. I'm one of 2, which doesn't really mean much. We'll get some more wood. And then we'll do a glitch, which is definitely in lots of other games, so things like Spyro and other stuff. So hopefully I can get this. So we'll just go up here, get our bounds. And we'll get under here. Hopefully I hit it. There we go. So all the water in this game sort of extends out forever. Well, not forever, but like ridiculous amounts. So you can just sort of get in it and just swim in there. Just do that. And it just skips. Unfortunately, if you get hit by any sort of fire, you can't. It's only like if you get hit by an enemy, you're fine. But if you get hit by any sort of fire attack or fire animation, you lose the swim in air. So you have to be really careful. That just skips building a beanstalk to get up here. It all makes sense. It's a really normal game. Oh. Hopefully I don't fall off. Yeah, so we're just gonna keep jumping up here. And we can just sort of jump across here. I meant to open the drawbridge, but you don't have to. And there's 14. So now we're gonna go and fight the boss of this level. So we need to swap characters first. And so now we're gonna get a look at Dot, who has the magical ability of the hula skirt, which lets you, if I don't get poisoned, lets you just limbo. There we go. Use it twice throughout the entire game. And you don't technically have to use it there, but it's quicker to use it there. Yeah, so that's the 14 Edgar door, so we're going to go down here and get what I think is the best item of the game. It definitely like gives you the best Edgars in the game. So we're going to go and do this. And so they'll drop either a like diamond eye thing like that. I'm not really sure what it is. It's like some sort of orb. Or they drop a bomb. And it's sort of just completely random which one drops. And they can only drop 2 of each one in a row at any time. So if they drop 2 bombs, you know you're getting the other one. If they drop 2 of the gems, you know you're getting, I don't know what they are. Marbles? Some sort of, I don't know. I should probably play this game properly and find out what everything is. There you go, so we only need 1 more. Hopefully, no. Okay, it's fine. There's a really, really generous time limit. Like, even if you get the worst luck possible, you can still get it in the time limit, so it's not really a problem or anything. And now we get the magnifying glass, and I'll show you why that's useful later on. That'll just let us get a couple of Edgars in a couple of levels. And now we're just going to jump over this firewall here. And then, what we were meant to do in the first level, I forgot to say, is that there's a guy who gives you some, what are they called? Can't remember. What are they called? Plungers. He gives you some plungers so you can climb up walls. But that's the only spot you ever need them in any percent. And you can just sort of jump up there anyway. And here's the boss battle. So now we're going to fight this giant dragon. So all you have to do is just sort of avoid his attacks, and then he literally just shoots fire at the platform you're on, so you just have to jump between. And then he'll start to taunt you. He'll be like, hello, hiya. And you just have to knock this spike into him. So I need to do that 2 more times. I mean, he was only saying hi, I don't know why I'm being so horrible. It's fine. It's fine, he has an Edgar that I need, so I'm going to kill him anyway. How video games work. Close. Yeah, so when you get near the edge, it does like a comedy, like, and then falls off, so you have time to save yourself. Sometimes this is quite finicky to set up, because you have to use the analog stick, and sometimes it just doesn't line up in time. So we only have 1 more hit and then we're done with this boss. And then we can go and get a couple more things and then we're done with the level. And from now on, we're only going to go into each level once now, so this is the last time we'll see this level, after we've done a few things. There we go. And we're done. That's the boss dead. I'll just grab the Edgar. Sometimes the camera messes up here, so we'll just have to be careful. No, luckily it didn't. Sometimes it like stays really high above, so you sort of have to just do it semi-blind. So now we're gonna go back to here. And now we'll see why the magnifying glass is the best item. So every level has like a hidden enemy. It's this one in this level. They're the same every single time.
That's not an evil mushroom. It's a chicken.
It's just like the most random. Every level has a chicken in it, and it's hiding every time. And the magnifying glass lets you see where the chicken is, but you can't actually get the chickens until you get the magnifying glass. So we're gonna go and get one of those in every level. There's some better ones later on. It's just sort of a bit like, it's not a mushroom, it's a chicken. I should stop doing impressions. Oh.
They're pretty good though.
So we just have to get some more wood, and then we're done with this level. There we go. So there's 2 more logs, and then we have to fight the witch. In a really epic battle which takes forever. And then we can leave. And hopefully I haven't lost too much time from failing Miss Muffet. Hopefully it's not going to be too far behind.
Can I do some donations?
Yeah, go for it. It's just me walking at the moment.
We have a €5 donation from Jasper, and he says, "Ta-da! Edgar gets. Here's to many more this run." We also have a €7.50 donation from Shadow Wolf, and he says, "Hello, nurse! Let's name Mudkip Gumi, just to make me and Alta happy."
Okay, so we're just going to go and... Did I get all the wood? No, I missed one. Okay, we're not going to go there. I'm going to just die, apparently. No, I forgot to get one a bit earlier on. It's not too far away, so it's not too much time lost. It's the one I always forget, so I should probably remember it. But it's just this one up here. There we go. And because if you're in the air when you get that last bit of wood, the cutscene that the witch has where it's like, come back to me now, doesn't play for some reason. So it just saves like a couple of seconds. It's all about the mini time saves in this game. Okay, so now we're going to go and fight the witch. And then we're done. So let's go and have an epic face-off with the witch. I want to be as far away as possible. Hopefully that wasn't too early. No, that was too early. Okay. There we go. There we go, it's done. So if she hits you, you turn into a frog, but there's a mirror behind you that you're meant to make a hit. It's not really obvious, but after a while it just sort of hits it anyway. But that's that level done. So it's quite a straightforward level. There's a few skips. We'll be seeing a lot more skips in some of the later levels. So here we're just going to skip opening the bridge again. Just doing this. And then we can just jump up that hill. So sometimes when you come out of glides in certain situations, it gives you like a forward, like a super slide sort of. So you just sort of keep going forwards, and that sort of is helpful for if you're trying to get up cliffs and stuff, it just sort of stops you from falling down. So now we're going to go to O'Sullivan's Mines. So let's go. And you only technically need 12 to get in here. There's another door in the actual level itself that needs like 21, I think. So you have to get some more Edgars before you come in here anyway. And we'll just jump under here, and it just takes you straight under. And then you're meant to take the zip line across here, which is really, really slow. So hopefully I'll get this first try, because it's hardest with Dot. No, okay. So the thing with Dot is that she has like an extra animation on the end of her ground pounds, so you have to sort of time your jumps properly. There we go. It's a lot harder to do than with her. And yeah, it just skips having to go down the zip line. Yeah, so the beginning of this level is pretty straightforward. There's not really much happening. Just sort of going through normally. Gets a bit better later on in the level. So there's Mr. O'Sullivan himself. I'm just going to collect some of these emeralds. In case you haven't recognised already, O'Sullivan's mine is based on Ireland. But not really. Sort of based on Ireland, but none of the levels look anything like Ireland looks. It's like Mayan Island. I apparently can't play this game. Oh, let's keep going.
Don't worry, I think you're still better than everyone else at this game.
Well, yeah, people need to run it first. I think everyone in chat should just run this game. There's a chicken here.
It's a chicken!
It's a chicken! Yeah, these are some of the more boring chickens. Some of them have better announcements later on. Yeah, normally, yeah, you're meant to just use a magnifying glass on every single enemy to work out which one's the chicken. But obviously, that takes forever. And we already know which one it is because it doesn't change at all. So here we're going to do a mini skip. So normally you have to like sneak across these spikes. What you can do is you can just sort of jump across like that. Because this game was really well made. There we go. So that just sort of skips having to sneak across, which takes forever. I need to switch characters. So now we're going to go back to being Yakko. I'm assuming his name's Yakko. I think it is. I don't actually remember. Someone in the chat's probably going, his name's actually this. And we'll be like, okay. It's Wakko. I thought Wakko was the other one. I thought Wakko was the small, like tiny one, and then there was Yakko, and then it was Dot. Oh yeah, by the way, that like middle disc hurts you if you touch it for no reason. So I'm just going to go around this room and just destroy these lasers. Oh. There we go. And the door opens, so now we can carry on. Oh. Or not. Now we can carry on. And now we're going to do another puzzle. And you're meant to... Well, we're going to jump over this lava first. And now we're going to go and do another puzzle. And so this puzzle's meant to be like a... You watch the pattern and then repeat it puzzle. But first of all, you can just skip over here to skip the cutscene of it showing you. Hopefully I remember this pattern. I haven't actually played this game in like a week or so. Well, it did like a no reset run earlier on this week. So hopefully I haven't forgotten what it is. There we go. So yeah, you're meant to hit that middle thing and then it like shows you what the pattern is. Obviously, it's the same every single time. And so now we're just going to go into this final room and then we can get an Edgar at the end of here. And then we have some more fun stuff. This level's probably one of my least favourite levels just because it's quite boring and straightforward. It has a few interesting skips, but other than that it's just a bit... Like, it's quite linear. So now we're going to go and do some swimming. Or get hit by a monkey and then go into swimming. And get hit by another monkey. Yeah, the enemies in this game just have no mercy at all. They just throw anything they have at you. Oh, camera. There we go. Yeah, the camera just gets stuck. It's great. So there is an Edgar down here. Going to collect some of these emeralds as well. Luckily there's a room at the end which has quite a few emeralds, so if I'm short a bit then I should be fine. And then we'll go this way. And there's the Edgar. Swimming Edgar. Couldn't be bothered to come up with the swimming one if they just put goggles on. And that's not the right way. Yeah, so if you hit the ceilings underwater, you sort of lose a lot of your speed. So, now we're going to go and get there's now an Edgar in a tree that we have to go and get. They're all just in really random spots and make no sense. Get some of these just to be safe. So I think I'll short a few. If you swim underwater there, you can sort of just like get stuck for a minute or so. Just because if you're underwater and then you swim to the shallow bit, it doesn't automatically pop you out. So sometimes you can just sort of get stuck underneath the water without being able to go anywhere. So what you're meant to do here is there's like a guy running around and there's a monkey to try and catch them. But you can just sort of jump up the tree. This is the first skip I found. Just got there like that. And that just skips having to chase the monkey. And we get that Edgar. And now here's where the fun stuff starts in a sec. So normally what we have to do throughout this level is there's 3 parts to a key. You have to get all 3 parts and it gives you a key to open a door. But obviously that's really, really slow. And they're all in really far away places, so I'm just going to skip that. Hopefully. I say that with optimism. So what we'll do is we'll do another out of bounds. Literally just come up here. Jump on its nose. Jump on its head. And out we go. This game really should have been bug checked. You can literally just go out of bounds everywhere. And yep, so now we're out of bounds. We can just swim over to where the door is. But unfortunately, we wouldn't normally be able to do this because you can't like go back in bounds very easily a lot of the time. But luckily with this door specifically, because it's meant to be like a really dark area, it has a trigger. There we go. So if we just sit here, we just get teleported inside. That just skips having to open the door. Saves like a minute or so. It's not a massive time save, but it's still a time save. And there's the Edgar. Oh, and it's dark again. So if it turns dark whilst you're getting the Edgar animation, it doesn't actually kick you out anymore. So luckily I can just sort of carry on through without having to light it up. Now here, there's this guy, and this guy gives you the night vision goggles, and there's also Pinky in the Brain. You can technically do Pinky in the Brain first, but they don't give you the item if it's not light. And now this is just like, if you've ever played the game Mastermind, it's a bit like that. You just have to guess the numbers in the sequence. So that's a 0. That must be an 8. No, that's not. That one's a 0. Really technical. There we go. So it turns orange if it's the right number on the wrong space, and it turns another colour, red I think, if it's the right colour on the right space. So that just gives me the bombs. So now the bombs are really temperamental. Sometimes they just don't work. Luckily that one did. This next thing coming up though, sometimes it can just decide that it doesn't want you to bomb. Oh. Nope, don't jump. It's fine. Didn't want to jump.
Just what the doctor
Yeah, it's going
ordered.
that way. And now you're meant to do like... Yeah, so I got a super slide there, and it caused me to fall off. There we go.
Yummy.
There's enemies everywhere, and they will just sort of knock you all about. So this one, it will sometimes just not let the bomb explode properly. Hopefully that's in the right place. There we go. And now you're meant to do another puzzle here where you twist some wheels. We're just going to skip that. If you haven't noticed, a lot of this game is just skipping random puzzles. You're meant to turn all the staircases around, but we can just sort of jump up them. And now we're in the room with all the... Yeah, that wasn't even there, so I'm not sure why that damaged me. So now we're just going to grab some more of these emeralds. And hopefully, because it should spawn on this platform. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, if you grab it, you just sort of skip watching, you just sort of run the two cutscenes at the same time. If you don't get the ta-da! Which we'll just have to, yeah, we'll have to skip it this time. It's fine, there's a lot more coming up. So now we're going to go to the boss battle in this world.
I thought we never break for lunch.
And this one's actually a bit more technical in terms of movement and stuff. So there's 3 different phases. In each phase you're trying to destroy these side pillars. And a totem pole will try to kill you. So the first round is bombs. And
Just
that
what the
just
doctor ordered.
blows up each one. So up here. There we go. So you're not actually meant to be up here, but it's a lot safer up here. Because you can't get hit by the bombs up here. So yeah, this first phase is really easy. And then the second phase is a laser bolt. Laser bolt? I don't know what it... No, that's the right word, isn't it? I don't know. I'm going to call it that now. Laser bolt. So you just have to hope that it destroys each one. There we go. And then the third phase is the more technical one. So now on the third one it's going to try and kill you with fire instead. And if you do this quite normally, it takes 5 fire breaths. Okay, I just messed up. But if you sort of jump, if you go in a diagonal pattern, it's like not super technical. Ooh, another fire. But if you go round, it takes too long to get round. If you go in a diagonal, like right next to the totem pole, it has just enough time to destroy each of the totem poles. And I think that's that level done. Lovely. So we're not going to come back here again. At least I hope that's that level done. If it's not, I'll just come back later. Yeah, that's that level done. Lovely. So now we're going to go back to some of the levels we did earlier to just get some quick Edgars. Obviously get some chickens. The next level has my favourite chicken. Which is a weird sentence to say. So we're going to go back. I only have 12 Edgars left, so we only have to revisit those 2 worlds, then 1 more world, and then we can go and do the final boss. And the final boss I'll talk about later, but it's just ridiculous. It's just stupid. But hopefully it goes well. So we'll get the chicken from the main area as well, which is over this way as well, so luckily we just get it on the way. Which is why we come back here anyway. So I think if it was just the chicken in this level, it probably wouldn't be worth it, but there's 2 chickens over here. Chicken. So this plant that wasn't here before, like hopefully it's a bit temperamental. There we go.
Oh my! It's a chicken!
I don't know why they put chickens in the game. It just literally makes no sense. It's great. Although they're quick Edgars, so I'm glad they did. They just literally take 2 seconds. Oh, and that's the last level open, so I can now go into the last level. I went for a while. Oh, no, he's on the level. So it hasn't been too bad a run so far. I mean, I've made a few mistakes, but nothing too massive, so hopefully I should still finish underestimate. Yeah, literally this level is just you go into the main area. And this is my favourite chicken for no reason. I think it's really funny, everyone else will probably look at me like I'm crazy. So it's literally just up here. So you have to wait for it to run out. There we go.
That's not a psychotic chainsaw-wielding maniac! It's a chicken!
Oh my god.
It's just a delivery. It's great. So yeah, we just get that one, and that's all we need from here now. So now we can just leave this level.
Can I do a quick donation in between?
Yeah, no, go for it. I'm just going to the next level.
Okay. We have a 10 € donation from Ivan E. And he says, "For good stuff," smiley face. Thank you very much for your donation.
So now we're going to go back to the first world and get, I think it's 3 Edgars from there. We'll get to see the hula skirt again. Thank goodness, I was missing it. There's actually like a really big hard lock in the first world. There's an Edgar right at the end of it that I'll show you in a bit. And I'll talk about it later on, but it can just completely brick your console. So I'm not going to do that because it's not my console. So we're going to do that. Yeah, just takes forever to load sometimes. So I think we're good for film canisters. Hopefully we shouldn't have to go out of our way too much. So now we're going to go... Unfortunately, I could have opened a... Like, there are secret passage... what are they? They're like the special teleporting doors in this level. But they're both right near the end of the level, so they're really useless. So just going to have to walk all the way back through. Just slide for fun. Sliding isn't any faster than jumping, because you have to have the recovery as well. And also it can only go in one direction. Yeah, so we're just going to keep going through. Need to remember to get this, because in my fractures one I forgot to get this chicken. But it's really easy to just walk past. So I'm going to... There we go.
Oh my! That's not an extra for one of the sets. It's a chicken!
Only one more chicken left after this, unfortunately. There we go. Thank you very much. Take the bounce. So now we're just going to go and get a few quick Edgars here. Need to be locked though, so I'm going to swap characters. You don't really swap characters too much in this game. 100% you'd have to do it a lot, because there's lots of collectibles inside, like bombable cases or in diggable pits, so you'd have to do lots of swapping. Luckily I don't run 100% and don't plan on running 100% because it's awful in this game. There's so much backtracking. So now here's why it's a hula skirt and not anything else. Because we're going to help these guys get some rain. So we're going to do some limboing.
Hey! Whoa! Hey!
They make some great noises.
Yeah!
Yeah. Or how will I ever beat that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can just sort of... So you just sort of press left and right to balance the limbo, so it's not hard at all.
Yeah.
They didn't put any music in, it was just literally just... There we go. Let's do the next one. It's the most awkward part of the game. There we go. And then we have one more to do. Now, for some reason, sometimes, because the person I'm going against has to walk in a circle all the way around, and sometimes they get stuck on like other people and stuff, so it gets delayed a bit in terms of her coming around, as it looks like it's doing now. Yeah. Just walk straight through that other person. There we go. Can't do it. Have to stay in orange for this one. Not too bad. There we go. And we brought back the rain. And now we'll talk to him. He will let us talk. And we get our Edgar. And we have one more Edgar to get in this level. And then we're done except for the last world. Oh, we swap characters.
Why can't I have the biggest trailer?
This level's like the only one where you swap characters multiple times. So I need to be Wacko now. So now we're gonna go and grab the last Edgar here. So this last one's the one that can hard lock the game. So normally you have to like dig a dirt pit, and then it like teleports you into the arena, and then you go up to the thing you're meant to do, and then it starts the mini game. But if you can get in there without having to dig up the thing, but if you walk up to the thing you're meant to be doing, it just breaks your game, so you can't do it, unfortunately. It wouldn't save any time in this one, but if you did a different route, it might save time. Especially because you have to backtrack all the way here, so it will just save time doing it early on in the run. So yeah, so we're gonna go and do a rodeo now.
I can dig it,
And
baby.
yeah, this is the dirt pit, so if you don't dig this, it doesn't load the minigame for some reason. And we're gonna ride a horse. So it's literally just like a press the arrows as they appear. So I'm just gonna concentrate for a bit, because you can lose quite a lot of time here if you miss arrows. The first round is 1 arrow each time, the second round is 3 arrows each time, and the third round is 5 arrows each time. That was the wrong way. Yeah, so you have to do 2 extra cycles. There we go. Yeah, so sometimes when he stops, he does like a scratching the ground thing, and sometimes he just goes straight into doing the moves. So yeah, there's a scratch. There we go. So you have to do 3 cycles on this one, and you can mess up 1 arrow and still get it in 3 cycles. And this next one you can do in 2 cycles if you do it perfectly. But if you miss one, you have to do 3 cycles. It's not hard, I'm just really bad at this game. So, really bad at this minigame. Yeah, see, like, I pushed it, but it registered it as being too late. So it doesn't count it, so I have to do 3 cycles now. Yeah. Then after this is the only non-skippable cutscene in the entire game. It's great, it's a great cutscene though.
Well, I'll be danged. You managed it, champ. You tamed the unruly beast.
Yeah, and I rode that horsey too.
I'd have never believed it unless I'd seen it with my own eyes. Here's your reward, champ.
That's the quality of voice acting throughout the entire game. There we go. So now we're going to go into the final level. So the final level is called the Epic, and it's basically just like Greek, Roman stuff. So it's not like any of the other worlds. It's just based on. Well, it's like this first world. The other worlds are based on like sets. The first and last one are based on time periods. Not sure what the fourth one's based on. Because it's definitely Irish, but it's not. So it's a weird level. So gonna swap characters here. And hopefully I should have 125 film canisters by the time I enter this next level. If not, I'll have to go out of my way and get some. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to have enough. I'll grab some here. So this is the only level you can't enter early. Every other level you can enter with 0 Edgars except for this one. This one you have to get 25, because it doesn't load otherwise. Oh, another thing I forgot to mention, when you go into a world for the first time, there's no enemies. But then, after that, when you leave a world for the first time, enemies spawn in the area. So, it's just like a small thing, but it's not relevant to speedrunning. Okay, I have enough film canisters, that's fine. So now we can just go and do the last world. And this world has quite a large skip. Doesn't save as much time as it looks like it does, but it skips having to do a lot of stuff, and it puts the stuff out of order that you have to do in the level. There we go. So, just gonna go up here first. We'll start off. So, I think it's Cleopatra's in this level. It's like a mixture of like Roman, Greek, and Egyptian, so I'm not really sure what it's meant to be. I think it's meant to be Roman, but it's confusing. So now we're going to go talk to Cleopatra, who really needs a bath. So she wants us to fill up her bath. And obviously to do that, we'll have to hit some donkeys. It will make sense, I promise. So now we're going to do our skip. So we have to do that first, just because it means that it saves time later on. So what we're going to do is what we've already seen twice already. Oh, there we go. Just get our bounds there. And just jump into the water out here. And it just skipped having to do a puzzle later on to open some gates. Just going to go around here. So with this game, they did program it very well in terms of like the walls are double-sided. So you can't just swim through a wall. You have to like go all the way around, or the only things that aren't solid are most of the floors. So you can go underneath some things sometimes, but some of them aren't. This game literally just has its own logic. It makes no sense. Like floors tend to be able to let you go through, some don't. Other than that, you can't go through anything else. You have to go over the top of things. So now, just going in here, if it will let me. Hello, where are we? There we go. That just skips having to open the gates. And here's the final chickens.
Oh, yeah.
Ah. So you sort of try and lure him over towards you. There we go.
That's not a burly Roman soldier. It's a chicken.
So that's all the chickens.
The perfect disguise.
Never find them. There we go, and that gives us... Oh, actually, we already had enough Edgars anyway, because we got the one outside beforehand. There's a door up here that takes 30 Edgars, so if you don't get the one in the hub world, you can still get into the door. So we're going to climb all the way up here. Oh, or not. Now we're going to climb all the way up. You can just sort of skip round. These platforms are quite weak, they sort of boost you up onto the edge. We'll go through the centre here. There's a door here. And then we get to talk to Icarus, who wants to fly close to the sun. So, he wants some stuff, but we're not going to get any of the stuff for him. The only reason we open him is because it opens a door later on, that we need to have open. So that's all we do for his mission, because his takes forever. So now we're going to do some of the stuff here. And there's a nice escort mission in here, which everyone loves. And it's worse because they can just stop following you for no reason. If they get stuck on walls or like corners or torches or items, they just stop following you and you have to go back and get them. But first we're going to do a water puzzle. And the first time I did this puzzle it was really confusing. I didn't understand how it worked at all. But it is really straightforward, so you just do like literally just 2 things each time. So please go. Hello. That might's gonna hit me. I'll kill you quickly. There we go. Yes, you just have to do this water puzzle 3 times and you get the Edgar. Luckily it's really, really straightforward every time. So you just do... Can I do that one now? No. So you should be able to just hit this one. Unfortunately you can't just like stay aimed at it because the laser runs out after a while, so you have to sort of try and time it properly. And technically, you can get out of bounds here, so you technically should be able to get this Edgar without doing the puzzle. But I have tried and doesn't seem like it's going to be easy or possible. There we go, so we just stand on top of the Edgar. And that's the water puzzle. It's really, really straightforward, but if you mess up any of the levels, then you sort of... If you're playing it casually, if you mess up any of the shoots, you sort of just get a bit confused about where you are. So now we're going to go and do the Escort Mission. So there's 3 slaves, and we're going to go and free them all. Well, I say free them all, we're not really freeing them all. We're freeing them for now. Make sure we get all the scarabs as well. So they walk in a line behind you, but sometimes they can just decide that they don't want to be in that line anymore and they just stop. So hopefully they don't get stuck at all.
Just what the doctor ordered.
And then here's the 3rd one. Unfortunately, releasing this one also releases a tiger. But it's fine, the tiger can't really do anything. It can like hit us, but apart from that. It can also stop the slaves from following you as well, which is the worst thing it can do. Hopefully they're all still following. Yeah, that's normally the corner they get stuck on the most, coming out of that room, just because the tiger stops them. You have to walk really, really slowly, otherwise you just lose them.
We never break for lunch.
And this is another corner where they tend to get lost. They seem to be following this time. So they feel sorry for how the other kids went earlier. No, why are you stopping? There we go. Yeah, they can just randomly stop for no reason. Like that. Please. And we should be home free now. And hopefully by sliding there I sort of slid into the loading zone as it was loading. So it just means that it like groups 2 loading zones together. No, I didn't slid into it. You can sort of group those 2 loading zones together and make it into one, which saves a couple of seconds. Yeah, so we just have a few more things going as well. A few more collecting things, and then we can go to the final boss. So we'll talk to this guy here. So we freed all those slaves, he's just going to take them away again. Because we're good guys like that. And luckily these doors are only one way, so you can just go back out. And here's the donkey. So to get the water flowing, you have to get the donkeys to go into their cages. There we go. So that means that we can now turn on the water for the bath, which we'll do in a bit. I'm going to go and talk to this guy in the toilet first, who's being guarded for some reason. And he's run out of toilet paper. So we have to go and get him some toilet paper. Basically they're going, I really need... Yeah, he basically just like makes noise if I'm not going to repeat on screen. But they're very strange. Play the game yourself and you'll find out. Just grab some of these scarabs because I'm very short at the moment for some reason. And then get the donkey here. No, go the other way! There we go. Go into the hole. There we go. So it's a bit like the sheeps earlier on, they just sort of have a mind of their own sometimes. I feel like this may go slightly over estimate, but it's not been the best run, so it's understandable. There we go. You have to talk to the guy on the toilet to be able to open this door. Please. There we go. And then we can just bomb this pillar down. Technically you can get across here without the pillar, but it's ridiculously hard, and I'm not going to do it. Because it saves like a second, if that. So now we're going to grab toilet paper for him.
Toilet paper on trees? That's the thing?
Apparently so. I think it's virus. I'm not really sure. All I know is you just ground pound some trees and you get toilet paper. It's a win-win. Hopefully I ground pounded all the right ones. I missed one. Hello. Oh, it's there. Okay, I didn't miss one. Okay. So now we're going to go and do some water for Cleopatra and some other stuff, and hopefully get enough scarabs to get the other Edgar I need as well. But yeah, the end of this is just sort of running around. If we have any donations, now will be a good time.
We do not have any donations, but I would like to quickly say that we are running in support of the Dutch Cancer Society. The Dutch Cancer Society is a charity which aims to prevent and fight cancer and alleviate the suffering of those already battling the horrible disease. 90% of your donations will go directly to the Dutch Cancer Society, and 10% will be going straight into making the stream better. We hold these marathons on location in the Netherlands every single month, so follow us on Twitter and on Twitch to see more of us and get more information on those as they happen.
So I have to be really careful here, because there's a snake. Oh, okay. Not that bit, that's not... Okay. Dying massively. This has not been a great run. It's fine. Showing off the game well. That's what matters. Okay. Where am I? Oh, it's fine, it's not too much time lost. Grab these while I'm here. And then this snake here is quite deadly because it can just hit you down to the bottom. And hopefully we should have enough scarabs to make it to the end of the... Oh, collect that one. Yeah, there's only like 5 minutes left, so yeah, I'm probably going to go a tiny bit overestimate, which isn't great, but it happens. There you go, so that's all 3 of the waters. So now Cleopatra can have her bath. There we go, see, she's already in it. Not moving at all. If you fall all the way down from the top there, you can sort of just die. No point to do that. There we go. So now he has his toilet paper. And I can go and make sure that the bath's okay for Cleopatra. Go and ask her. I think I'm a bit short on scarabs, so I might have to do some extra scarab hunting.
Just what the
I
doctor
also need full health for the boss fight. And you'll see why when I do the boss fight.
yummy.
Well, I think there should be enough in Cleopatra's room. Should be okay. Can you not ledge grab? Thank you. There we go. Basically just goes, oh, I feel so much better now. Here, take this, Edgar. All the women in this game are really weird. Like, it's just... They all talk very strangely.
I mean, don't all women in the Animaniacs show talk a little weird?
I'd love to be able to tell you. Unfortunately, I haven't watched the show.
Wow.
I probably should watch the show at some point. There we go, that's 36 Edgars, so now we're going to go to the final boss. Just save, just in case. Yeah, so the final boss, if I do it well, it should only take like 2 minutes. If it goes badly, then it might take a bit longer, but it's a weird boss, so we'll see what happens. Unfortunately, dying in Miss Muffet a few times sort of cost me a lot of time, a lot more than I thought it did. So, just for reference, world record and my PB is a 118. So it's not been... And normally most things go first try. All the runs I did practice-wise were sub 125, so it's been a very, very bad run. Okay, so now we have the final boss. So he has 3 separate phases. The first phase, he just shoots stuff at you and you have to try and avoid it. There he is. So he'll just shoot energy balls at you and you just have to try and avoid them. It's really hard because you can't actually tell where they are. Sometimes they just, like, they hit you even though that one just went straight through me and it still didn't hit me. And then we need to hit some hot air balloons to try and get some energy. So we need to be able to get closer. Unfortunately, because this game this boss controls absolutely awfully, because you have to control the movement as well as shooting and everything with one control stick. That's why some of it looks a bit like it's moving really weird patterns. And you'll see why that's a pain in this bit. Because in the third phase, you have to try and hit the back of him, but he also shoots like spike rings at you. You have to try and avoid the spike rings while also trying to hit him. So it's like, you can't really do both at the same time. You have to just hope you get lucky. And if they hit you, you lose loads of time shooting. And you have to try and... The goal is just to sort of knock out the 4 propellers. There's one. Normally it takes two phases. It's not too bad. And time will probably be coming up in like a minute or so. So. And if you die here, you have to start the entire battle over again, so hopefully I don't. But from now on it's pretty safe and I shouldn't die. If I do, then I'll just... Okay. Once again, I guess. There isn't really anything else I can do. You have to try and like get these. You can also boost while you're being damaged, so hopefully these all die very quickly. There goes one. There's 2. That was not good. Okay, that's going to take an extra cycle, unfortunately. I mean, it's not like we were behind on schedule before, so it's fine.
Oh, not at all, not at all. We're totally on time with schedule.
Fine.
I think we're even ahead by now.
So I can only get hit here once